Well, hello, folks. From the flight deck. Just giving you a little view of what I'm enjoying this morning. It's beautiful. First day of fall, is it? Something like that? Maybe that's tomorrow. I don't know. But I'm taking a flight currently over the Sequatchie Valley, or just past the Sequatchie Valley. In fact, I'll just bring the camera over here, and you can see the valley over there. I'm up over the plateau now, and my next stop is the small town of Tullahoma, one of the most interesting towns that I have spent time in. It's influenced by places it's influenced by the UT Space Institute and Arnold Air Force Base, where a lot of research gets done in aviation and aerospace associated topics. So they have, over the years, attracted a lot of really smart people. It just makes for a really neat place. So, gonna spin the camera around here. The use of a little airplane is something that I like to advertise, you might say, because we need more people flying, and I like to dispel myths about airplanes. One thing that I enjoy is, on a day like today, being able to do things that I just could not do otherwise. I'm going over to Tullahoma to pick something up. Then I'm going to Crossville and picking up a vehicle and driving it home. I don't have enough hours in my day to be able to do this if I didn't have an airplane. I'm flying the little airplane, the Mooney, today. It gets about 14 miles to the gallon and goes 100 and, let's see, we're doing about 165 miles an hour right now. So you can do the math. It's probably a little more expensive than driving a car per mile, but if I have any value of my time, it's not necessarily more expensive. If I have to hire somebody to get me around, it's also more expensive to do that than to do what I'm doing. Airplanes are known as a way to lose a lot of money, waste a lot of money, and I understand where that comes from. It's true that it certainly keeps the economy going, money in and money out. I'm keeping shops in business, keeping aircraft or avgas manufacturers in business, insurance companies in business, airports in business. Yep, all that's true. But it's a question of how much is your time worth. That's the one thing that most of us pretty much have the same amount of. I know not necessarily our lifetime, we don't all have the same amount, but every day we only have 24 hours. There's not 25 hours, there's not 23, there's 24, and out of that 24 you got to find enough time to eat, sleep, do your personal hygiene, hopefully, and get stuff done. So when you have as little free time as I do, I work on average 60 hours a week, sometimes a lot more, then being able to jump in the plane and get stuff done is a way to maximize that little bit of time that I have. That's a buffer. Yesterday, I had a function with the organization I'm part of in Manchester, Tennessee. I would have driven, if I had driven there from home, I would have driven over 500 miles to get there and to get back home. Obviously, I wouldn't have done that. So that's an experience I would have missed out on. There are many like that, like the trip we took to New Brunswick last week, where it took us just over 5 hours each way to take the whole family up, spend time with my extended family up there. We could have done it by driving, but it would have been an entire full travel day plus with small children in a car. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have done it. But anyway. So if you're interested in getting into aviation, I'm always happy to be the evangelist for it, tell you what I know, encourage you to fly. So that's what I got today. Turn the camera around here and show you a little bit more of the beauty we've got to share. Just those little puppies out there building up. Early in the day they're not there, and then as the pot boils, as we say, and the soil heats the air that's above it, if you think of it like a pot, the air close to the ground in the areas where the dirt is being warmed the fastest, that air gets warm, and it forms a hot bubble of air, and then that bubble lets go, just like the bubble you see on the bottom of the pot, and it rises. It creates an updraft, and it rises and rises and rises until the moisture in that air reaches the altitude where it condenses. At that altitude is the bottom of those clouds. And that condensation process pretty much cools off the air, and so it doesn't rise much higher than that. So you get these layered out puffies, like what you're seeing here. Those are called cumulus clouds. Below them, it's bumpy. Above them, it's really not on a day like today. In fact, the air up here, I'm at 8,500 feet. The air up here is almost perfectly smooth. Very, very few bumps. If I was riding below, well, I'd have a hard time making this video because the camera might be jumping up and down too much. Now, if I was flying a glider, well, I couldn't be this high because there'd be nothing to lift me this high. But I could stay up for a long time if I was careful and spent most of my time in updrafts and rushed from one updraft to another and then slowed down and circled in those. That's how thermaling works. Thermaling is the process of circling in updrafts to get as high as you can. That's how glider pilots can do cross-country trips over flat land. Once you get up, if the pot's boiling, you can use that solar energy to go a long ways, hundreds of kilometers. You'll notice glider pilots don't use nautical miles very often. They use kilometers because gliding is heavily influenced by European and South African manufacturers and pilots. So they like to talk a lot about how many kilometers they flew. All right, I'm gonna wind it down for now. Shoot me any questions you got. I always like to talk flying. Oh, and that right there is called a cloud street. See that row of clouds? Keep that in mind for next time you go on a glider. Have a great day.